All right, subscribe and bear down because we do these mailbags every single Monday and Thursday live on Chicago Bears Now. My name is Harrison Graham. We go live every Monday and Thursday at 4 o'clock Central Time. Take your questions. So fire in the live chat if you're watching right now. Use hashtag Bears or Super Chat to get your question answered. All right, Truth to the Bear kicks us off. He says, any concerns about the second-round picks not signing their contracts yet? You're seeing this more and more every single year, especially in the second round, because you kind of run into this, okay, how much, where is the line of we're not giving as much guaranteed money on these rookie contracts? Because first rounders, it's all fully guaranteed. You have these weird situations like Shemar Turner sometimes, but those are fully guaranteed. For the most part, second rounders have become that as well, at least through the third year. That's typically the sticking point. Do you give that third year? And then after that, it's not as much guaranteed. It's kind of just a known thing that's how it is. Obviously, the Bears took 3 players in the second round: Luther Burden, Ozzy Trapilo, Shemar Turner. None have signed at this point in time. If you remember last year, Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze, 2 top 10 picks, they didn't sign until the day before training camp. So this is kind of one of these rookie contract deals, unless it gets contentious publicly like the Shemar Stewart one is. It's kind of one of those, wait me up the first day of training camp, and if they haven't signed, okay, we can have a conversation. Like the Bears did run into this with Roquan Smith. He missed some of training camp. So it does happen, but I'm not concerned until we get training camp and they're not out there. If that happens, that's a concern because you need the rookies out there competing. So until then, I'm not worried about it. Who do you think is going to end up being the best of this group of the 3 second-round picks? Type LB for Luther Burden, OT for Ozzy Trapilo, type ST for Shemar Turner. Super chat rolling in from Jeff Bartlett. Appreciate you, Jeff. He says, sorry I'm late. I'm a believer in Caleb. And after the amazing free agency and trades, it's time to draft an edge in the first round. Wouldn't mind bringing Keenan Allen back. Yeah, a lot there. As far as drafting an edge, yeah, I would say if the Bears are in position to get a big-time pass rusher in the draft next year, definitely could see that happening. We'll see on Keenan Allen. I'm not there right now, but depending on how things go early on in camp, if Burden's not far along or if there's an injury, definitely would be open to revisiting that. By the way, I will just throw this out there. I am not selling Rome Odunze stock at all. In fact, I still think he's going to be really good. But I do wonder if there's a small part of the Bears front office that is like, if we could do that again, would we have taken Jared Verse? I mean, that guy is incredible, but not going to have revisionist history yet on that. I still think Rome's going to live up to the hype, and I think kind of the noise that he's not very good is ridiculous, but we'll say this, Verse as a rookie was really impressive. Angry Bears fan, do you think they'll have more design runs for Caleb this year? You might see some. It's not like they didn't do it at all last year. I think in the red zone, you might see it a good amount. You saw in little drills they were running some zone read stuff, and Ben Johnson's never had that luxury. He's never really had a mobile quarterback like this. I mean, the closest thing he had to a mobile quarterback was Ryan Tannehill when he was on the Dolphins staff, but he was like the receivers coach, so he wasn't really that involved in the play design, the play calling, all that stuff. So, yeah, I could see it being worked in. I don't think Caleb's ever going to be even like a 700-800 yard guy, but he was 489 last year. Could he be in that 400 to 600 yard range for the first several years of his career? I could see it. He's a 4.640 guy. He can move. Robert D, how close is Loveland ready for training camp? He thinks he's going to be ready. Ben Johnson at the end of OTAs admitted he wasn't sure, but I think at some point in training camp he'll be ready. Will he be ready in a month when they report, the rookies do? We'll see. He was running routes. He's been lifting light weights for a good while now. I think the next step is just being cleared for contact for Colston. Paleo here. Appreciate the super chat, Paleo. I'm in the camp of cutting Ryan Bates because of the injuries. Is it mean of me to think the Ryan Bates thing feels like a repeat of Lucas Patrick? It's similar. It's trying to find a cheaper option to be your long-term center, and I just think it's hard to do that on the offensive line, to find under-the-radar cheap players that become long-term solutions. Lucas Patrick and Ryan Bates are what they are. They're serviceable starters. They're good backups. They're not anchors. They're like Coleman Shelton last year. Coleman Shelton was fine. Like, you can get by with Coleman Shelton, but if you're asking him to be a plus player, you're probably in trouble. And considering the pieces around him last year weren't very good, that was an issue. So, yeah, I don't really have expectations for Bates at this point. If he's healthy, he's a good backup, but couldn't stay healthy last year, has a nagging shoulder problem. Didn't see him at all in OTAs, so we'll see. If he's not out there to start training camp, I think you might be on to something there. Subscribe to the channel. We got off-season coverage here for you guys when it comes to the Chicago Bears. A month from today, if you're watching this live on Thursday, rookies report to training camp, so it's going to be here before we know it. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so you don't miss out. All right, where's Nestle? How do you think the defense will perform? I did a full video on this. I think the defense will be good. I think Dennis Allen is a very accomplished coach. He's a good defensive coordinator. There's a lot of good pieces. Can it be great? Do they have enough big-time players for it to be a great defense? I think Jaylon Johnson's a big-time player. And then I think you have some good players. I think Montez Sweat is really good. Can he get back to being big-time like he was 2 years ago? TJ Edwards is good. Is he big-time? Tremaine Edmonds, can he be big-time? I think there's a lot of good on this defense. I think you're lacking a big-time pass rusher to say, yeah, I think that's going to be a dominant top 6, top 8 defense. I think it's going to be more like top 12. Charlie, realistically, is Eberflus or Allen a better defensive coordinator? It depends what you're looking for. I do think both are good. And I said it last year. Matt Eberflus can run a defense. He can. Now, I think his defense can get stale. And I think we saw that last year. It wasn't just he sucked as a head coach. I think his defense got stale. I think you kind of hit a ceiling of how good his defense can be because he plays that off coverage, cover 3, do your job type of defense, which is fine if you have a lot of good players and all 11 are doing their job constantly well. It's going to be good. What it doesn't account for is, hey, if this player makes a mistake, are you exotic enough elsewhere to hide that mistake? It doesn't really do that because he doesn't blitz. He doesn't do a lot of stunts with his defensive front. I think Allen is much more aggressive, especially in the back end. He's going to play more man coverage. He's going to take more chances, but I do think it's going to lead to more splash plays. We saw 2 years ago, though, with Eberflus, they had a ton of takeaways. So, I'm not going to dunk on Eberflus as a DC. I think he's a solid DC, but I would take Dennis Allen just a little bit higher because I prefer more of an aggressive style. I think you look at a Brian Flores. Minnesota had good personnel last year. There weren't 5 All-Pros, though, all over the place. And those guys just flew around and just confused teams. And it's because Brian Flores is super creative. He's kind of like a Ben Johnson on defense. He's just, you don't know what the hell is coming half the time. Okay, are you guys going to training camp? Who's going? If you are, let me know, and let me know when you're going. We'll try to give you guys some shout-outs there. And by the way, if you go to training camp, get some cool photos, videos, whatever, feel free to DM them to me. We'll put them on the show if you guys want us to. So let us know. DMs are open at HGramNFL. Couple more here. Saquon's Barkley. How do you feel about JJ and Thuney on the NFL top 100 placement? Is that Jaylon Johnson? I think Jaylon came in at 71. This is the CBS list. It's not the one that the NFL always promotes. That's probably fair. I mean, the year before he had a better year and got left off the NFL top 100, which was a joke. He's definitely a top 100 guy. I think Thuney came in at 50-something. I don't know if he's the highest guard on the list or not, but he should be top 3. So, yeah, that's fine. I mean, I got no issue with that. Best 2 players on the team. Ben Seaton, which coach on the Bears staff has most to gain if the season is successful? I would say a couple guys that come to mind. And, one defensive guy and then a lot of offensive guys. Al Harris on defense. I think he could be a DC or maybe even a head coach in the future. He's that well respected. Antoine Randall Ellis' counterpart offensively. Now, is a team going to want to see him as a play caller first, or would they just hire him to be that CEO head coach type? Because I kind of wonder in both their cases, are they more just the motivator types, like the rah-rah guys who, they haven't called plays, but their leadership skills translate to being a head coach? I think those are 2 names. Eric Bieniemy, probably not to become a head coach next year, but if the Bears run the ball well this year, especially if the running back room is kind of underwhelming on paper, I could see him getting another crack as an OC in the NFL for sure. So Declan Doyle, like if he grooms himself under Ben Johnson, could he become the next Ben Johnson where, 2-3 years down the road, he takes another OC gig elsewhere, but with a play calling aspect to it. So I think he'll be here for at least 2 years though. But yeah, I think Ben did a good job of hiring proven veterans like Bieniemy, like Richard Smith, the linebackers coach, then also some younger guys who have bright futures, some former players like Al Harris and Randall L. So I like the mix of coaches that are on this staff. All right, guys, if we didn't get to your question, apologies. DMs are wide open at HGramNFL. You know where to find me by now, Twitter, Instagram. That is where we are. If you want to slide in, DMs are right there, and we could talk some ball.